Hello, everybody. This is SingsCom back at you with episode 4 on how COVID-19 cancels communication. In this episode, we're going to be discussing friendships, relationships, dating life, everything of that sort now being affected by the pandemic. So, to start off, I actually don't have a dating life to experience through this pandemic, so I really can't say on my personal points on that subject. But concerning relationships with my friends, now this is an interesting one because I still get to see my friends. I still get to hang out. I still get to go over to their houses and whatnot and enjoy their company. The main issue lies with us being able to go out and do things in public, as stated in the last videos. You know, our our experiences have been greatly limited in terms of entertainment. Um, Whenever it comes to the outside world because of the pandemic. And so there's really not much that we can do on that end, but we still try to find the time to hang out with one another and catch up and make sure that we're all doing okay. Now, um, the interesting part about relationships in general being affected is that I had the pleasure of reading an article titled "The Unraveling of Friendships During COVID-19," which is by author Sue Sheff, and she posted on June 5th, 2020, from the website Psychology Today. And she goes in depth about, how naturally you being far away from somebody and being on lockdown and whatnot greatly affects the relationships, as you don't have that face-to-face communication that's very important for building relationships and maintaining that foundation. But we look into the interesting mandation of policies and regulations ordered by the CDC and states respectively. Um, there can be a lot of tension that falls under that because, like most, controversial things that happen, you're gonna have a split. You're gonna have a split of viewpoints. Um, so it is a high possibility that among your friends you can have people that don't see the mask policy, the 6 feet distancing, as something that works, and they choose not to follow it, and they really don't see the whole point of it because contact in general, would that not be dangerous? So why only limit to a mask? And then there are those that do believe that it is something that needs to be established and maintained. And then that further goes down the path of, well, if it's established and maintained, does that mean that it's okay to go out as long as these are kept together, or is that not safe enough? Or do we need to go into an actual lockdown in which there are very limited times in which we're allowed to leave? And on the other hand, if you don't see it, if you don't see the policies that we have in mandation right now with just the mask and 6 feet, would you do anything to change that? If you're on the other end, if you really don't see a point and you don't see the virus itself as something that's real, what do you do about that? There's evidence that supports that people have died. Now the numbers, I'm not exactly too sure. There's a lot of different statistics that are being shown out there. So, to what capacity COVID-19 is affecting people, I couldn't say. However, I do know that it is real, and I do know that it is something out there that's harming people, you know. And so it just comes into consideration of whether we need to further restrict things or just allow us to continue to keep coming back and go through phase by phase of letting the general public back out and together within 6 feet and without masks eventually until this pandemic all rolls over. But concerning my friends on that matter, we're some of them are split on it. I have a few friends that do see the masks as something that really doesn't matter. However, I can agree that all of us are very respectful to these policies, and that if there is a store that comes by, that we come by, that does enforce that policy, then by all means we will follow it. Um, I can only imagine that the dating is just about the same, if not with more heartbreak to be involved. But nonetheless, there are divides on this situation, and it is true that COVID-19 has affected our friendships in some shape or form. To what degree is completely to the up to the certain scenario in that person's life. But other than that, this is episode 4 of How COVID-19 Has Canceled Communication by SingsCom. I appreciate you, and you all have a wonderful day.